This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, look at that. Friendly, little exchange of language. Now we're talking. I have to do that this morning because I got to tell you, I park in a ramp at home. I live in an apartment.
Okay.
So you park in the ramp and all the rest of it. And when you come down from the second floor to the first floor, there's this long, it's not a dive, but it's downhill. Let me put it that way.
Yep. Yeah, a slope.
At the end of it, you cannot see either left or right. There's a crosswalk there that's laid out. So you always go down and stop and then wait. If nobody's coming, then you go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's your responsibility. The people who walk there's responsibility is look around the corner and see if a car is coming.
Yep. No.
This morning, I almost hit two 21-year-old women, 22 maybe they were. They had just gotten coffee. We're not looking at where they were going. We're looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then luckily, I locked up the binders and didn't hit them. And then they looked at me like it was my fault. It's like, look, we both have a job to do. You have to do your part or you're going to get kicked. Don't go through a crosswalk without looking right. I'd look left, too, to make sure nobody was turning up the thing.
Yeah. People I feel like when they cross the street, either don't pay attention or you'll get that person that's in the middle of the crosswalk holding their hand out telling you to stop as you're like two blocks away. And it's like, I see you walking across the street. I'm not going to hit you.
Hey, I'm walking.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, they were deeply engulfed in latte land. They just
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly right.
The pumpkin spice ones just dropped. And
have they?
I have no idea if they did or not, but it's about that time of year where that's what everybody goes crazy for. So
look, I cannot see around that corner unless I pull up even with that corner out my window, which means I would have hit you with about 4 feet of car.
Yeah.
I cannot see you. You have to watch for me as much as I watch for you. Okay. And of course I don't floor it just to make sure, but I nearly hit these two women because they were not watching what they were doing.
In your parking garage, do they do the like Tokyo Drift style driving throughout the entire thing like they do in mine?
I've seen it. To be honest with you.
Guys, how are you going 40 miles an hour in this parking garage? Right
There's
now?
a guy in my building, and I won't even say what kind of car it is, but it was a car from the 1970s.
Okay.
And I can tell you every time he's either just gotten home or just left home because the gas fumes in that garage, it's like, holy God. They were right about the vehicles. They were kicking out some smoke, man. No, it's a beautiful car. I mean, it's gorgeous. I'd love to have it, but isn't there some way they can get that all to get a little, I don't know, little netting over the exhauster? I suppose that'd kill you.
Yeah, I think you'd have to probably do some hefty upgrades to get that up to today's standards.
Do you think we'll ever get back to the point where both sides, both I and the two women, know we're responsible for our own safety?
Yeah, I think so. Will
we?
I think that I think it's more of a person by person like basis there, because I feel like if you had the same instance tomorrow, maybe just two different people that are walking across there, they probably more times than not know, okay, let's give a quick peek before we start hustling across the walkway.
What I am going to do is I'm going to go to the building manager today and say, why is the crosswalk right up against the wall? You should put it out, should like bow it out a little so they have to walk out and away and then come back to the door.
Well, and do they not have like the convex mirrors where they and they're fisheye? No,
they're going to put one of those up too, because I almost hit these two women, nearly, honest to God. And one of them was looking at me kind of laughing, kind of nervously, and the other one looked at me like I was a murderer. It's like, Jesus, lady, I didn't know. I waited. I stopped, actually, which I've never seen anybody else stop at the bottom of that ramp. No. You're going to get killed. But I just don't understand why they put the door right at the bottom of a ramp anyway. So you have to cross the bottom of the ramp to get to the door. That makes no sense. But that's just me. You stupid bastards.
Well, it wouldn't be a day in the life if there wasn't something to kind of piss you off a little bit.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is turn on the news and they'll piss you off completely, no question about it. Apparently there's some big deal now about, is it J.D. Vance that doesn't like people without children?
Yeah, he's had some quotes that, I'm sure if you take it pretty out of context, but even in context, sometimes it's like, that's interesting to say.
Yeah, he pointed out that most of the people, I don't know if it's most, if he said that, but a lot of the people that are running our government now are childless. And he doesn't apparently think that's a good idea because they don't know anything about, future generations and taking care of them. And I don't really have an opinion on that. I've got 2 children, about to have 4 grandchildren. I'm a very happy guy, happily married. I'd like to piss and moan, but I just can't.
Yeah. And I feel like the politicians going, well, does he have a wife or does she have a husband? Do they have kids? Like making sure they have a family is like a very 90s, early 2000s take.
Well, most people you guys age don't want to have children. From what I understand, that's what they're saying. Oh, it is
expensive. And in this economy, it might be tight. Yeah.
Listen, just because I don't know if it's your son or your daughter, and I won't say which, but just because they maybe put a dinner or 2 on your credit card, and at the end of the year, it's it's only about $30,000. So what the hell? Kids are very, very, very expensive. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I've got a buddy who just had a kid like early July, his first kid, him and his wife, and he's like, yeah, man, like obviously I love him. He's awesome. But boy, am I tired. This stinks.
Well, there you go.
He's like, I haven't had a good night's sleep in more than a month and a half. I just want like one night. And even then I need probably 2 or something like that. Yep. I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't envy you at all right now.
Not one bit.
I had a friend, go nameless, had his first kid, and the kid's about 2. 2 gets, the terrible 2s. I understand that and all the rest of it. He comes over to me and goes, I said, man, you look tired. And he goes, oh, we were up all night with the kid again last night. He just wouldn't sleep or whatever. There's a long pause. And he looks down at the ground and goes, now I know why my dad used to beat the piss out of me. That's really a nice view. Start beating up children. 2-year-olds start beating up 2-year-olds.
He's like, I get it now.
I get it now why he punched me. But other than
there are moments like that as an adult where you're like, I see where my mom or dad were so upset with me. Like, I didn't defrost the chicken breast in the fridge by the time she got home with work. Yeah, that I get it how that was frustrating. I was an ass.
No doubt about it. No question. But other than that, I still would like to know why it is that these news agents, I suppose you get the viewership or whatever, but they just get so locked in on this one particular thing. And it's like, would you relax? We're not all the same. We had different lives, but they just won't. I suppose that's the way they make their money.
Yeah. I don't know how you even watch. I would lose my mind if I watched that stuff every day. Like I go out of my way to just avoid it as much as possible. Like
I try to track down headline news so I don't have to listen to the whole story.
Yeah, and I get that. I guess I usually do that with like online though, just so I don't have to like hear a narrative pushed at me. Like I can choose selectively what I want to read, and if I, frankly, if I start reading, I'm like, oh, okay, this took a turn for a weird direction. I can just click right out of it. Whereas like if I'm watching TV, I'm not going to willingly turn to something that I know is going to be funneled down my ear hole. I'm going to turn on like, Sports Center. What happened between the Orioles and the Yankees last night?
Okay, I'll go with the 5 headlines that AP kicked off on line.
Let's do it.
Okay. Grand Canyon's only water pipeline fails, prompting shutdown of overnight hotels. What do they have? Only daytime hotels? You can't stay here overnight, but I've never heard of a hotel like that. What to know about the pipeline? This is the second story that brings water to millions of Grand Canyon goers. Police fatally shoot a man on New Hampshire Main Bridge along I-95. Child 8 found dead in the vehicle. So far, a lot of very positive news. Yes. Probe is closed into owners of Pulse nightclub, where 49 people died in a mass shooting. Yeah, I remember. How long ago was that?
Was that in the gate club in Florida? Yeah, I believe so.
That's what I believe.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
That feels like 2 years ago.
It does feel like 2 years.
No, that was 2016.
Wow. You're talking about going all the way back to that.
Yeah, killed 49 people. Omar Mateen, and wounded 53 more.
You sure it's Mateen and not Matin?
We're going to go with Mateen.
I like it.
And the fifth story, so far, very, very positive, don't you think?
Very uplifting so far.
Very uplifting. Ballot measure in 41 states gives voters a say on abortion and other tough questions. Yeah, I'm sure those kids will get along really well on that.
Yeah, just informative.
So I have a question for you.
Light stories to start the morning.
And 5 light stories to start the morning. Those are the 5 top stories in the AP this morning.
That's what we should do every morning.
We should start the show. Yeah.
5 light stories and then just read the worst possible headlines.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think we're going to have to get to a point where, let me use this, a ballot measure in 41 states gives voters a chance on abortion and other tough questions. I was never involved in an unwanted pregnancy. I was never involved in an abortion. So why should I get to vote on abortion anyway? I don't know anything about abortion.
Yeah. And I feel like I feel like a lot of people, when they talk about abortion, some lady's 9 months pregnant and was just like, not for me anymore. And then went through the process where there's, situations that come up where maybe it's beneficial for either the health of the mother or the child. And you have to take each one case by case. And it's tough to just put a whole blanket yes or no over the whole thing.
Yeah.
There you have it. I got to go to the 6th headline because it might be the best of them all.
Okay.
Jury finds ex-politician guilty of murder in 2022 killing of a Las Vegas investigative reporter. The guy killed a reporter? Jesus, settle down, pal.
Jeez. What
the hell? A jury in Nevada found a Democratic former Las Vegas area. Nevada's pretty Democratic anyway, isn't it? Didn't used to be, but I think it is now because of the unions in Las Vegas and all that. I think.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They found him guilty of murder in the killing of an investigative journalist who wrote articles critical of his conduct and because he was critical of you. You killed him.
Also,
Jesus,
you're like prime suspect number 1. Like, he just wrote all these articles just trashing this guy. Yeah, he probably, let's check him out first.
Yeah,
I would think so. I just, that's one of those things again. It's like you killed somebody over that. If I killed everybody that criticized me in the paper and on television and radio in this town, I would have killed about 2,000 people.
Yeah, and it also makes me think in this politician's case that it might be true. Because if it wasn't true, why would you go through the process of trying to kill somebody? You'd be like, this guy's an idiot.
I think that's a good point. That makes total sense, actually. We shall take a break. Be right back. Some Hunyuk sports guy. What's his name again? Judd? Is that it?
That's close enough.
Close enough, Beer, food, Vikings, and real-life jousting. The only place you can find all these things together is the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival, happening weekdays now through September 29th, plus Labor Day and September 27th, located at the Renaissance Festival grounds in Shakopee. It's fun for the entire family as you venture around the grounds, finding amazing food and drink, tons of different street acts, live music, and fully armored jousting. There's always something exciting going on, and that's true. I just went out there for the pre-open. It was fun. Although I did find out something from Livia. Remember the huge turkey drumstick that I bought? Turkey drumstick. Turkey, not real fatty. 1,100 calories. Whoa, Jesus! I'll talk to you about that later on the show. As a matter of fact, that'll be sometime in the next half hour. You like to live on the edge? Try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow, climb on a rock wall, or test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages, featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and crafts events. Plus, with over 250 artisans and shops around the festival, you may just find something that scratches your medieval itch. Visit RenaissanceFest.com now for discount tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit RenaissanceFest.com today.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all of our listeners for your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Matter of fact, everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels. They have the same technology as the bath towels that actually do absorb. They have dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and a lot more. You get the best specials ever. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM. You get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app, at tombarnardshow.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm really glad I wasn't doing an Olivia ad right there, because one of you guys unwrapped a candy bar while I was, what the hell? You're the crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. What do you think? Well, maybe it was Judd. Did you just unwrap?
No, I'm not a huge candy bar guy, and certainly not at not before 9 in the morning.
Are you underwater?
It wasn't me.
Are you underwater?
Oh yeah,
your mic's going through your computer, not your actual.
Oh man, hold on.
You're a disaster.
Hold on.
There we go.
It's all fixed up.
There we go.
Sometimes it just defaults, and I don't know why. These mics, I mean, they're great mics, but they're mysterious. They work in mysterious ways. Oh, that's good.
Thank you very much. Oh, I developed that many years ago because I grew up in it. You got to come up with things like that if you're in a family of 7 kids. Otherwise, you'd never get any attention.
Oh, you got to get the attention. That's
Absolutely.
See, I was in a family of 2 kids, so attention was not a problem. But yeah, 7 I can see being an issue.
Brother or sister?
Sister.
Oh, so nice little balance there.
And we were about 4.5 years apart too. So,
is she older than you?
Yeah.
That's why you behave so well, because you had 3 parents, not just 2. Older sister. Really
I'm not sure I behaved so well.
My sister Vicky, who's 5 feet tall, I never wanted to piss her off. She was tougher than nails, man. When I used to get in like schoolyard fights, she would come out of the school and break them up and tell the other kid, "Look, I'm going to kick your ass. You don't leave my brother alone." She was a tiny little girl, but
wow.
She protected her brother Tommy. I'll tell you that, man.
Wow. You see, I was the biggest kid in my class, so I fought the fights in grade school for our class.
Yeah, it's not great. The one at 11 when I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. That one's I've carried that with me my entire life, as a matter of fact.
You got hit in the head with a baseball bat?
I got 2 cracks right on the left side of my skull from the kid hitting me in the head. Came up from behind me and hit me in the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah, during my scholastic career in grade school at St. Therese in Deep Haven, we didn't have baseball bat.
Good move.
Baseball bats being wielded around as weapons. So I mean, I'm just talking about fist fights, which were fine.
Sure. I'm looking at the screen while talking to you. We all appear on the screen. So I did notice both Tevin and AJ going, "Oh, that's what's wrong with him."
It finally clicks.
It finally clicks. Well, he cracked his skull. That's why he's so nuts.
So did the kid get in trouble who decided to crack him the skull?
I don't know. I woke up like 3 days later. So I think, yes, I think that did happen. No question about it.
Good.
My friend Benny got hit right in the face with a baseball bat, and I watched. Man, he was a big kid too. We went down like a pile. There's a lot of violence in North Minneapolis. I don't know if you know that or not.
I didn't realize it was in the schoolyard at the time, though.
Oh God! And by the way, the schoolyard was all tarred. The entire yard was.
Oh yeah.
So baseball practice, you had to literally field, grounders off a tar. That was a thrill.
Oh my God!
No odd hops on that deal.
Oh no! That is probably not the best way to play baseball.
I wouldn't think so. You notice how I'm avoiding talking about our Minnesota Twins?
Yep, I was just gonna say, do you not want to talk about the 5-1 loss, the eighth loss in 10 games, the fourth consecutive loss, the sweep by the Braves, the fact that they are now 3.5 out in the division, and they are only 3 up now. The Red Sox have won back-to-back games in the wild card. Is that what you're avoiding?
Yes, that's exactly what are they not going to make the playoffs?
The rate they're going, it's going to be touch and go for sure.
God.
Like there's a month left.
Does anybody know in sports you're supposed to get better at the end of the season, not worse?
They played another just stupid game last night too. Third base coach waved Margot home when he shouldn't have, and of course a couple of batters after that, the guy gets a single, so they score a run because the guy that got the hit, Jeffers, that Margot got thrown out on, it was a double, so it would have scored 2 runs. So Tommy Watkins, by waving Margot home, screwed that one up. Then Margot in the 7th, to your point about the defense, a ball clunked off his glove.
Oh,
like he was playing for the Bad News Bears. They just, I mean, they're not doing any of the things that a big league team should do right, and it's almost September.
They've gotten worse, and I'm sorry, but I blame that on the coaches, the head coach on down. If your team gets worse in late season, it's your fault.
Well, and you know what's really frustrating is, okay, so they're without Correa and Buxton, and their third pitcher, Joe Ryan's out. But the kid that they threw last night, David Festa, was marvelous. Gave up 2 runs, I think, over 6. He walked the first batter who came around to score in the 7th, but he was fantastic. But if you're without your best players, don't you have to play nearly flawless games? Like the one thing you can't afford to do is be stupid.
Right. Absolutely right.
So that's my biggest gripe is not that they're losing. My biggest gripe is how they are losing and how dumb they are playing when they can't afford. I mean, this is the time. There's no one there to save the day. You know?
No, you're absolutely right. There's no question about that. But do you agree with me that if you're losing in late season, it's the coaching fault?
The manager? Yeah. Baldelli, definitely. This is what frustrated me so much. I think it was last July when they were, of course, in or around first place, because that, in that case, the division was terrible. It's not now, but the division was terrible. And what frustrated me was they were losing so many games like this.
Yeah.
And then they turned it around. If you remember, around August, they got hot and they went on a prolonged streak, which is what they did after the bad start this year. But yeah, these dips, and again, it's one thing if you lose fair and square. It's another if you lose the game by yourself, which is what they are essentially doing. They're losing games for themselves.
No, you're absolutely right.
Now we've talked about it. We ripped the Band-Aid off.
Well, we can't just sit and take this. It's at a point. 80% of your games you played horribly in the last 10 games.
Yes.
I mean, it's terrible.
Horribly
Fix the team.
Horribly or stupid. like Rocco helped cost him 3 games.
Yep.
Last night, the third base coach sends a guy. 2 nights ago, between the third base coach and Kepler, who were both at fault, that cost them a run. You cannot cost yourself a run.
No.
When you don't have Carlos Correa and Buxton. And furthermore, I think I brought this up to you yesterday or a couple days ago. This is, to me, indicative of, okay, if this happens in a playoff game, you're done.
Yep, absolutely.
And
closer.
Like, what's the one thing that the Tom Kelly twins that won championships? You know what? They played smart.
I agree.
They were managed well. They played smart. That 87 team had some nice players, but I think we all agree that was not a world championship team necessarily.
Nope.
But they had guys that understood the game. They had a manager that was baseball savant. He's just a genius.
Mm-hmm.
And they played, and they didn't cost themselves the most important games. Now, they won at home, but that was fine.
Yep, absolutely.
This is it's maddening to watch this because you've seen this prolonged streak of when they played well. And I don't know what has happened. It's like they're literally baseball short-circuiting.
Is there hope on the horizon, though, Judd? I mean, we've got 2 series, one against the Rays and one against the Blue Jays, I believe.
Blue Jays
the next 2, so it's 7 games, so they can kind of 2 non-playoff teams as a chance to right the ship and get things back on track.
That would be the case, except the Cardinals aren't good, and the Cardinals just came here and won 2 or 3.
Exactly.
So, like, I would like to say yes. A month ago, I would have said absolutely. But the Cardinals are the St. Louis Cardinals, whose fans, of course, pride themselves on being the best in baseball, have quit going to games there. And this was coming off winning 2 or 3 against the Twins here. So I would think that it's going to help to play the Blue Jays, and I would think that's going to help to play the Rays. But if they continue to play like this, they're losing games they're finding ways to lose games because they win on Sunday if Julian doesn't throw the baseball into left field.
Right. That's exactly right.
I can't wait till former Twin Jose Barrios has like a shutout or something like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Keep piling onto this.
He's pitching well. I just saw that, but yeah, it pisses me off because it's inexcusable.
But I mean, other than women's sports in the state, we don't win anything anymore. Our football team has never won a Super Bowl ever.
Yes.
You know, the basketball team has never won a championship. The men's basketball team, University of Minnesota, the women play well. The boys teams suck. I mean, that football team is dreadful. Why do we put up with this garbage? I mean, the state of hockey has never won a Stanley Cup. How is that possible?
AJ.
Yeah, AJ, it's your fault.
I mean, they've won a lot of like national championships and.
Yeah, that is true. And we have Duluth.
Back in the day. We have Duluth.
We have Duluth. Oh my God.
I love Duluth.
We're
Good
claiming.
town.
Oh, Duluth's a great city.
It is. I love that place. But seriously, we've won 2 World Series, but that was 30 some years ago.
Yep.
Jesus, can we just get it together? Never mind.
It's really incredible that like the city tandem of Minneapolis St. Paul hasn't like just lucked its way into a men's major for like championship game or series or anything like that in the last 3 decades. It's really almost impressive.
It's almost impressive. Well, that's a good way to look at it.
It would be if it wasn't super, super depressing.
Yeah.
The Vikings, the Vikings had that 2009 NFC title game against the Saints. Yep. That was their game, and they completely butchered it.
I just got a text message from a friend blaming me because they said, Tom, you grew up when the basketball team, the Minneapolis Lakers, kicked everybody's ass. I mean, the University of Minnesota won a national championship in football in 1961 when I was 9 years old. They're blaming me. It's because I was born that it took 10 years, but the team started sucking.
Well, hey, but you were around for that. How's it your fault?
No, that's what I'm saying. I guess just my birth changed everything.
Well, who knows? Maybe tonight the Gophers start their 2024 national championship run.
Tonight's the night?
With a big win over UNC.
Oh, they're playing North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yep.
How's that looking?
Well, it's going to be a game.
I think they're like a 2-point underdog or something like that.
It's also supposed to like storm and rain incredibly hard at 6 o'clock or something.
They're going to have like a game-winning field goal that, due to a wind gust at the wrong time, is going to push it back towards the kicker. Yeah, the Gophers fall to the Tar Heels 31-29.
Is that supposed to be an overnighter again where I'll get no sleep at all?
Supposed to start around 4 p.m. and last till about midnight.
Yeah, so you're fine. I don't think we're supposed to get the 3 a.m. hit. That
was loud and bright.
It woke me up. I've slept through storms before, and that one woke me up. That was that was a light show / gully washer.
Ooh, I like gully washer. We'll close on the word gully washer. What do you think of that action?
It's a great word.
It's a great word.
I think it's old school.
It sounds like you're a pirate.
All right.
Gully washer.
We'll talk to you again next week. Although there's no show Monday, so why don't you make Phil work so you don't have to handle all 3 shows again? He gets 1.
Because I would not get to see your 3 lovely faces if I did that.
You had to think long about calling us lovely faces. He thought about that.
I was trying to think about how to frame it. I was debating saying that or talking about how the Twins need to get their heads out of their rear ends, and I went with the positivity.
I appreciate that, and have a magnificent day, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a break. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. It's a couple of seconds from Chris Egert. It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Memory Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. That is very, very important because, man, you don't want to see your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa. It's tough. If you care deeply about someone in your life, like I do, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. That's great. No doubt about it. I know them personally, and that's true, by the way. I do know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best-staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WELSHIREMN.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
You know, I still got to get Jim Paul in the studio. He keeps ducking me, man.
Big surprise, Jim Paul. He's out there. He's too busy wheeling and dealing at the car lot.
He's wheeling and dealing. That's all I have to say. Let's talk about Livia weight control centers right now because, matter of fact, I was just out at the fair, on Saturday. AJ was out there. Kevin was still asleep at like 2 p.m, so he couldn't make it out. But, you know, that's just the way it is. But, you know, what are you going to do? But there are a lot of things they have. Do you have the list of things that they, you know what? I can probably go on my phone and get them. The list of the calorie counts, like general tips at the Minnesota State Fair. Try to take the focus off food. There are lots of things to see in the fair that don't involve tempting foods. Examples of these would be the daily parade, grandstand shows, you know, all that great stuff. So if you do decide to indulge in your favorite treat out at the fair, try splitting it with someone to help. That would help. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
And the way to navigate around the fair, they've listed all these great places that you can go to. What they're all about. I mean, it does help a lot knowing how many calories are involved and all that stuff on the list. I mean, I can't name all of them.
I mean, I've got some right here. Like if you get the deep fried Oreos, those 5 cookies, those come out to 891 calories
for 5 cookies.
For 5 cookies. So that's definitely one you might want to split. You get the Sweet Martha's, like the bucket of cookies. 3 cookies there are 270 calories. So you might want to, share it. You don't want to share the wealth. And Tom, I know in like using Livia, you've been kind of aiming for a certain goal. It was probably tough on Saturday navigating the fairgrounds, not wanting to go like to every single booth and try everything. What were some of like the tips and stuff other than just sharing that maybe you use while out there? Well,
Carol Grotham, who I've known for 25 years, something like that. She's one of the people at Livia, one of the people that runs the show out there. So basically, when you get a call from Carol that says, don't even think about it, that kind of takes care of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But no, it was one of those situations where we were on the show and then the KS95 morning show came on. It was a good show, by the way. Really good show. Mm-hmm. Really nice people, too. Chris and Des and Wes and the whole deal. So they came out and then I went on their show for a while. And then I met a ton of people between the two shows. So I was out there doing that. So by the time I was done appearing on the KS95 morning show at the fair, Gelfand said, let's get out of here. So I never did have a chance to eat at the fair.
Well, there you go. You stayed social. You were out talking, meeting, greeting, and seeing everything. And that's just another good way to kind of avoid all those calories.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I got to do this because people always go, well, then I run into go, my God, you've lost a lot of weight. So I want to stuff it. I got the mic down here. That's close.
Yeah,
I'm talking with my belly button now. Very good. No, the reason I want to do this, so you guys can see me on the screen.
Yeah.
I cannot see myself, so I better look good. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's night and day from that picture you brought in like a few weeks ago, showing like you at your biggest weight.
That was a lot of weight. See, look, let me pull this out to make sure I'm not cheating. You see that?
And what are you down to now?
I weighed in this morning at 228, so I got 14 pounds to lose. What I do while you're moving, everything I'll be able to do this.
There we go.
When you're moving, you got to make sure that where your medication is, where this is, where you never eat the right food because you're moving, so you got nothing. I'm finding things still tucked away that shouldn't have been put in boxes like other foods. But okay, so standing up now. Here, now I can see myself. Here, I'm got to move over this way. There. See, this is all sticking out too. So, but while I'm doing this, showing you how much weight, and it is me, by the way. That's not even him, you liar. See, look at that.
It's a body double.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, an example right here of foods that, like a corn dog, has 260 calories. You have to walk 2.6 miles to burn those calories, the 260 calories. You got a 33 ounce regular soda. Jesus, I'd like to try one of those. That sounds good to me. 33 ounces got 400 calories. Now you're up to 8,000. Cheese curds, boy, they got to be up there. 650 calories, 13,000 steps. You got to walk 6.5 miles to burn that off. But number one, and here it is, the deal that I did at the Renaissance Festival. They had to throw it in there for me.
Yep.
The giant fried turkey leg has 1,140 calories, and you have to walk 22,800 steps, or 11 point. You got to go a half a marathon to burn that off. So you see this is, I got hard nipples. I never noticed that before. Well, I did. I never noticed I had hard nipples, but why are my nipples hard?
This has gone off the rails.
Because I'm so excited about Livia. Is that what you're saying? Okay, walking around the fair is great and fun. Shut up, you guys. I never noticed that. Anyway, walking around the fair is a great and fun way to get your exercise in. Take a few laps while other people are checking out the food building, and most importantly, drink lots of water. Stay hydrated during those hot days at the fair. With the help of the team at Livia, I have the confidence to keep hitting my weight goals over the course of the state fair. Visit livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA today.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I just got a call from Ralph Basham. He wants to cut my nipples off. He said they're too hard. So, ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation to 952-925-5608. I can't see my screen, so I have to assume that Chris Egert is there. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, he's here. I'll fix it on your end.
Not a problem. Mr. Egert.
Looking good, Tommy. You look good, dude.
I've lost about 85 pounds. So it's 86 pounds, I guess it would be. And
well, I'm here to tell you the fair is not the place to try to cut weight. It's I've been out here for 5 days now, and it's ridiculous the amount of food that gets consumed. So,
but you know what's funny about that? When I went out to the Renaissance Festival, I chose a turkey leg, because turkey doesn't have a lot of fat in it. So, it's got to be pretty good. Turkey leg was the worst thing they listed